Good afternoon, everyone. Here is another spotlight for photopreneurs and photopreneurs community, and I'm welcoming you again. And if this is your first time, you're highly welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And today we have a very special guest here, and I'm just going to allow him to introduce himself. So, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Mide.
Okay.
I do my best. I drink water. I love Jesus.
Okay. Now, I don't know. How do I now ask him to introduce himself to us in a way that we will know who he is? Tell us like that.
Yeah, no, serious. I just do my best. It just so happens that over the years, I've chosen to do my best and I'm on the positive spectrum of narcissism. Yeah. Anyway, what does I do? I found TechOff, which is the current project where I'm doing my best at. TechOff is an initiative that I created in 2023 to essentially do something similar like this. Really to spotlight tech talents. That's the vision of TechOff. So we put together different initiatives, different ideas, different events and programs to let the world know more about tech talents, especially in areas that you would typically not look at. An example is people here in Futa, people in Akure, and some other cities like that. Yeah, I think that's all about me.
Okay, so that's all about me. And if you've been checking, you've been very recent, very glued to the internet. TechOff is not something that should be actually strange to you, and TechOff is one of the biggest that we've known so far around our career, and I can't even think of any other thing, right? So this is the face behind TechOff. Can you imagine? Like, can you even think it? So it's really an honor meeting you. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Software engineering. I've chosen to do my best in media, in speaking to people, in hosting conversations like this as well, and being a part of conversations like this as well. To be more precise, I'm a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for some years. Yes, I don't know if I still identify as a podcaster, but yeah, I do have a podcast, Journey with Mide, where I talk about myself, to be honest. What does I do? I found TechOff, which is the current project where I'm doing my best at. TechOff is an initiative that I created in 2023 to essentially do something similar like this. Really to spotlight tech talents. That's the vision of TechOff. So we put together different initiatives, different ideas, different events and programs to let the world know more about tech talents, especially in areas that you would typically not look at. An example is people here in Futa, people in Akure, and some other cities like that. Yeah, I think that's all about me.
Okay, so that's all about me. And if you've been checking, you've been very recent, very glued to the internet. TechOff is not something that should be actually strange to you, and TechOff is one of the biggest that we've known so far around our career, and I can't even think of any other thing, right? So this is the face behind TechOff. Can you imagine? Like, can you even think it? So it's really an honor meeting you. Thank you for honoring our invitation to this. But being a student, I want to take it back to while you were a student now in school, and then you were into tech while you were still in school, right?
Sure.
And you were able to like earn even while with it. So most of us now as students, we tend to sit with this skill and not really like know how to get the money aspect out of it, like the entrepreneurial aspect out of it. We just see somebody. I think one of the, I'm not doing this to shade anyone or anything, but I need to mention it because it's one of the most I've seen tech people do, and that is trying to create an app for students, footer markets and all of that, or trying to create an app that shows the roads for students. And over again, one person comes, does it, does not function, the other person does it, does not function, and you still see people trying to do it and they tell you mine is better. So how do you, I need you to like teach us in a bit, like how to bring in the entrepreneur aspect. You know, the entrepreneur aspect is majorly like solving the problems, seeing the problem that's actually worth solving and solving it. How do we bring that and still like earn money from it, majorly?
That's a very good question, and I like your point of view and your perspective on this subject, especially the people that build footer apps. And the first thing with something like that is I will not discourage anybody from going ahead and building something like build another footer market. Funny how I know the people building footer market, but but even while I was on campus, in fact the exact same name, if another friend of mine tried to build it about 4 years ago, now there's another footer market. The guy that built footer market turned the name from footer market to uni market because they can take it to other campus. And then, they're no longer running the business now. Essentially, do those things is actually my first thing. I know that's probably not what is expected, but do those things. And I say you should do them because it's a phase. There's something it builds in you. There's a resilience and there's a mindset that it builds in you that you most likely cannot get from anywhere else. And I'll just piggyback to my experience. I'm not going to, as I said from the beginning, I'm not going to act like, oh, I had this passion for tech and it's why I did it, or I didn't know that there was money and then I just happened to be making money. That's not really it for me. I knew there was money here. But once again, I really loved to write code. It was a decision for me to say that I want to take this, my love for code, to make money. I made the decision, right? But I already loved to write code. And the bigger picture for me was that I just like to do interesting things. And whenever I put my hand into something, I tend to be a naturalist. I get good at it. So when it came to earning for me, my experience did not just go from, I did those things as well. I tried to build solutions for campus. Although one mindset that I always had is that I'm never going to build something that is constrained by footer. Now, but then these things, you have to learn them. You have to get there. In 100 level, I wanted to build it too. That map thing, to let you know where everything is, I had the idea too. I wanted to build a digital map too. The reality is that when I did come to campus, there was actually no digital map. So I wanted to build a digital map of campus. I wanted to do that too. And in fact, it's why some people voted me to be their class rep, because I also thought class rep was to be class rep of a computer science related department was that you'll be doing some techie things I didn't know. I didn't know what I was signing up for. So it's why some people voted me to be their class rep, because I promised them that they were going to build a map. So I did have those images too. Declaration of intent. Yes. So I did have those ideas too. I went from that mindset. I continued to dance. I was just really having fun, and coding for me was just a way to express myself. It was a great thing for me to do. So the transition from that to earning, first of all, is realizing that you have a career to build. And you must start to build it from college. One of the things that opened my mind was how college works in another part of the world. The way college works in another part of the world is that most times it's a work-study thing. College is no longer a big deal in this part of the world, or in Nigeria to be precise. That's very annoying. Yes, college is supposed to be something important. It's supposed to be something that you choose to do because you know why you want to do it. You have a career, in mind. If what you want to be in life is a police, which is fine. If that's what you want to be, you do not need college. If you finish from the most important education is the one you get in basic school and secondary school. If you are done with secondary school, go into the force, go into the army. If you want to be a military, go into the NDA or whatever. Just go do that instead. Like, college is not something that you're supposed to just do because it's the next step. But you're in Nigeria, so go to college. I know I'm saying this thing, that this is me saying how it's supposed to be, but unfortunately, please go to college. So essentially, I'm saying that to say, the way college works typically is that you choose a particular path because you are already sure that that's what you want to base your career on, and then you choose that, and then you start to do it. Immediately you start to do it, again, you've already chosen it because you intend to have that as your career. So automatically, you're already looking at pathways where that can generate income for you, because you already saw it as a career path. So if you already see opportunities to make that income while you're in school, you definitely should be doing that. And luckily for me, or for people in my period, software engineering, at the time that we were learning it was the time where software engineering was showing the world, especially Nigeria, the evidence of the lucrativity. So it was easier for software engineers at the time to learn whatever they had to learn, enough for them to land a job. Because back then there was actually more job than talent, especially here in Nigeria. There was more job than tech talent. So we had an abundance of jobs, and it was easier to get into earning. Now the story is different. We actually don't have as much jobs as we had, even in software engineering today. So if you're in software engineering today and you want to break into income, you're definitely not going to do it by building that footer market this thing. Okay. Although my recommendation is that you still do it regardless for the learning experience, because you then get familiar with what it means to solve a problem, what it means to choose between the fancy tech solution and profit, right? Because when you realize the things that you have to build and the things you have to do and what it costs, and you look at how much you're going to be making if you actually go into this business, you realize that I can't be doing all these fancy techie things because they're going to cost me a lot of money, right? Because the business has to run. You will have learned all those things, and I did too. The first thing I built was a cleaning business. It's very interesting. I'm thinking about it. I actually took brush and washed people's toilets. But yeah. But
sorry. Were you not supposed to be building apps?
So our solution was that you could come to our platform and request for cleaners to clean your house. Luckily for me, by exposure, I did not call it Futa something. It was just, the name was Lagwaja Mobile. Actually, it was the Lagwaja Cleaning Service. It started as a pure cleaning service. No tech, reach out to us, we'll come and clean your place. So of course, we didn't have cleaners. So me and my friend that started together, we were the first set of cleaners. So we actually go to people's house and clean their houses. I needed the money to trust me. I'm not even going to pretend like I didn't need the money. The money was great because every time we went to clean a house, we'd take that money and we're going to use it to go to Chicken Rep and buy good food that day. So every time I was eating very good food was from that cleaning business. I was actually already in my first job. I was making some money, but the money was all I had for the entire month. So I could not use my money to be buying food. So it was the cleaning business money I was using to buy food. But actually, where I'm going with that is that there are so many other things that you can use to start earning as you learn. So we did that cleaning service. We're already making some money. So I told my friend then, on campus then, his nickname was Afo. And he contested for something, president, something. Yeah. So it was the money from that business that we used to fund his entire campaign. Nice. So essentially all I'm saying is that you don't have to force yourself into earning with whatever it is you are studying. It's like becoming a doctor. If you choose medicine because you want to become a doctor, it does not mean that by year 2 you start treating some people to make money. That's impossible. True. So you have to find something that you can use to make money. For us, we felt like, okay, we can actually use this cleaning service to make some money. So we started the cleaning service, started making some money with it. It was from that cleaning service we found that we cannot continue running this thing like this. We can build a solution around this business, make it more efficient. So we started building the solution, and that experience there in trying to build that solution was what opened the path for my earning in software engineering, because I learned a lot from that experience, and that's why I'm not telling people to not build those things. That thing that I built there was what opened me to experiences that made me confident in my skills. So when I was going into interviews, with, so I built this thing. It has about 200 users. We did about close to 200. We served close to 200 customers on campus before we shut down in just 2 years.
With the app or the manual part?
With the solution, about 200 people around Akure before, and that was even outside all the manual stuff that we had done. So it was easy to brag about things like that in interviews because I could talk about so many things. I could talk about how I knew how my code affected customers. So when I was speaking to people in interviews, when I talked to them about how I understand business and how I understand technical side and how my technical decisions affect their business and how I make sure that I always think about the business when I'm thinking about my code. So I'm not just an engineer that you just dump an idea on me and I'll just go and code it for you. No, I give them business ideas, business feedback. I tell them, no, this can make you profit. Don't make this decision. If they want to build something that's, let's add this AI into it, I'll let you know that this will not give you any profit, so don't do it. So that experience helped me in my earning capability. So when it comes to being able to use your income to earn, thing is find something that you can start serving people to make some money first. Use that. It can be a cleaning business. It can be do menial jobs. If you're in your first year, second year, and you're running away from menial jobs, well, the balance to it is, I guess, if you can find, because for me too, I had copywriting. I used to write. I made some money from writing too. The cleaning business, not like I cleaned a lot of houses like that, but just because we didn't have enough cleaners, I had to clean. So find something in menial job. It can be copywriting. It can be anything you think you can do to make some money. Use that money to invest in your skill. Get yourself to a point of confidence. Confidence is the reason why some people don't get into income, because they're not confident of their skills. Because everything they've probably done is just maybe for themselves. They're just showing the world they can write code. Maybe they're not building something tangible. So take that income, invest in yourself, build confidence. Once you have confidence, you can then take that confidence into applying for jobs, expanding your network. Network, very important. Expanding your network, make sure people that are doing the kind of things you are doing know that you can do this thing and relate, join communities. Don't be alone. Don't be a lone wolf. I used to be proud about being a lone wolf. It didn't get me anywhere. Don't be a lone wolf. Be part of communities, and that automatically will break you into income for sure, because you will know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that needs your skill, that needs your service. You would have talked about what you're doing somewhere and they will remember you for it, right? Especially to software engineers, because many times software engineers try to be nerdy, geeky, throw those things in the dustbin. Doesn't serve anybody, right? So that will honestly be how I would say you should change your mindset to go from just having the skill to
being
getting
an
income.
entrepreneur. Thank you so much. So from what you said now, I can pinpoint on don't be alone, taking it from the back. Don't do it alone. Don't be a lone wolf.
Absolutely.
And look for communities of people, like-minded people, be around them. Build your confidence. And how you build your confidence is majorly to do it and grow. And around while you're doing it, you start building your confidence around out. And also you mentioned starting from where you are at, doing what you can do and growing at it. But there's one aspect I actually want to ask, which is because this is more of a student spotlight, majorly for students. And as students, we still have that urge to solve problems in school. So I need you to help analyze. Let's analyze it together. Why these things don't actually work, or why they've not worked over time. Can we take a case example? I think the footer market is more of the things, because I have friends that also Lydia. I'm working on a hub for footer markets, and I'm like, okay. I've had another person say it again. I was talking to an alumnus rather, for he graduated, I think, 2018, and was saying that it was part of the things they wanted to do then too. But still, till now, we don't have it. So can we just analyze it together why it has not been working? And one thing they should check through in their scope.
The reality is that I don't think it can ever work. It's like saying you want to build Uber within school. Again, I did all these things. I've tried to build Uber within school. I've tried to build Map. I've tried to build this online market. So many things. At some point, even because I was active in student union, even through the student union, we tried to build Uber for all these keke people in Futa, where you can request for a keke to come and meet you. And we actually got to a very good point in building those solutions. The first thing is the infrastructure to maintain it is versus the income is going to be very it won't not make any sense.
Okay.
So you are bidding for students. How much do students really want to pay you for services like that, right? I mean, it's even here in Accra, boats is still considered a premium service. Like, it still feels sort of luxurious to use boats instead of taking a cab here in Accra. So if the city itself, still feels luxurious about that, how much more students that are really just trying to get, everything just wants to survive the day. Yeah. Like, I just want to get to the class. So the first thing is the infrastructure, the business, the profit versus what people are ready to pay. You will not be able to realize it. Okay. The second thing is market size. When you are starting a business, any startup, by the time you go to your investors and you try to convince someone to buy into your idea, what you tell them is that if you continue to scale this, we can get 1/3 of the market size, of the market share. The campus size is too small for you to build a business off. Okay. So if you are building anything like that, you cannot build it for the campus. You can start in the campus, but it cannot be for the campus. And a very good example is the almighty start of Facebook. Facebook started in the campus, but it was not for the campus. It was something that could easily scale to outside the campus, right? Because that's how we started Facebook. People, it was just like, oh, there are a lot of people on this campus and all are names, right? It's very hard to find somebody just by name. So let's build like a directory of everybody in the school. Now, the barrier to entry of that is lesser because you are just building a directory. You are just announcing to everybody. Everybody, if you want people to know you better, if you want people to find you easily, come and sign up on this platform and people can find you easily just by searching for your name. The barrier for entry is low. There's almost no need for profit, and whipping a website up, and that is pretty easy. If somebody tries that on campus today, the funny thing is that I think it will thrive. I don't like the way I'm thinking about the idea. I might give someone else to try. It will thrive. All you have to do is sell it as, this is a footer thing where you can know anybody and find anybody just by their name. So you can actually try. It can be an interesting idea for someone to try. Again, if you do something like that, it won't be for business. It won't be for you to make money, because also it was not Mark's point or idea to make money. He just felt like it was something cool. But then he realized Facebook is still not charging to date. They make money in other ways. Of course, they sell all our information. But essentially, they make money in other ways. So it's the same thing for campus. The market size is just too small for the kind of business models that we are trying to run on campus. Okay. Yeah. So another example I wanted to give was UpNepa. I don't think you would have met UpNepa.
No.
Yeah.
I'm even surprised.
Oh wow. So the UpNepa app was built by Futerian initially for Futa environments. Again, the priority for this person who built it, Salahuddin. Is Salahuddin or is it Teslim Salahuddin? I can't remember, but I think Teslim is one of it. So he and his brother. I think one of them was more of a software engineer, and then the other one was more of a hardware and remote sensing guy. Okay. So they built hardware that they could connect to different poles and then pass the wires so that those hardware will know when there's light and then broadcast to the apps or broadcast to the server. And then the server, of course, the apps are connected to the server. So, and then it can notify you that, there's light at Southgate, there's light at Northgate. Very useful stuff. But it didn't do no more because, again, the cost of that kind of hardware, nobody would pay for that. I'd rather buy 100 naira credits, call my guy, and ask him, is there light in this place? And if I cannot know from anywhere else, what happens to WhatsApp status? Is there light at Northgate? I'll get that information. So the convenience of the alternative is too easy for you to be a competition. That's another thing. So another thing is the kind of idea. That is why, essentially, trying to build it for a small distance is just not something that you can rely on. Your idea has to be bigger than the people that run Futa Market. I told the guy, I said, why do you have this footer in front of it? Then I can't remember the excuse he gave me, but I motivated him to continue. Like, anyway, it's a good idea, continue regardless, because I believe very strongly that it's a learning experience. Now, these guys that did Open Power, just from that single idea they've done, they built an entire company called MailSat that that does the same kind of thing, that they go ahead and go and find data in weird places where, especially in Nigeria, we have lack of data. They find data in places that other people don't look at, and that company they've built is really thriving. The company has taken them around the world. They are doing so many big things here in Nigeria. They partner with so many government agencies to do so many projects. And it started from just that single idea. So the goal of anything you're doing here is not for it to be a campus thing. It's for it to, you can start in campus, but the goal should always be something that can work outside campus. Then the people in campus can then continue to use it. For example, if you're going to build Futa Market, don't build Futa Market, just build a Jumia competition. If you build a Jumia competition, the people on campus can use it, right? So that's just how I see it. If you try to build for that market size, it's just, the order will just never thrive. And the start I was going to use was the amount of orders that you can do in a day. If you're doing something like Futa Market, if I do a rough guess of how many orders can happen within campus in a day. Funny thing, is actually a lot. We can actually have up to 1,000 orders every single day here on campus, right? But before you, first of all, by the time you even scale the product to get to that point, and then for you to build infrastructure to scale it further, you need to start making some money. Businesses like that, the only way they thrive is commissions. And the only way you can continue to run those kind of businesses is if the commissions are good enough to run the business. But you cannot rely on commissions. There's a reason why Jumia till today has not broken even. Have they broken even yet? No, they've not broken even yet till today. And that's because it is investor money that they are using to continue to do whatever they are doing, right? The business is thriving, yes. But at the end of the day, you don't have the kind of money that Jumia has. And again, the reason why Jumia can still raise money is because the market size is large. They are in Nigeria, they are in Kenya, they are in Ghana, they are in South Africa. So the market size is already large. So you cannot continue to investors can keep on sponsoring those guys. But for you trying to just do Futa alone thing, you have to be ready that this is not just a Futa thing. It
I
is
actually want to
art Futa for the world.
I actually want to pick on what you said, and you mentioned something that was like, okay, I'm not going to fight you again. I'm not going to say it again, but I'm still going to say it anyway.
Sure.
So as much as I'm all in for expansion, I'm the kind of person that believes that things should still be made for the campus, for other people to come. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we build sustainable brands and all of that. One of the examples is the community. I've had people that says you shouldn't make it Futapreneurs because it's just the campus. How are you going to earn with it? How are you going to do this and that and that? And I'm like, okay, this is not the sole purpose of this community. It's to help Futapreneurs, to help students while on campus and make sure that it thrives even in years to come. So coming back to the tech space now, a part of me believes that there should still be a way. And then you mentioned the fact that even if you're going to make it for Futa and still go on into your life, make sure that Futa student can still use it and bring a sustainable space to it, which was supposed to be my next question, but you touched a part of it already. So I feel is there a way? You already said it's possible, so I'm also asking again so that I can emphasize on the fact that it's actually possible. And is it advisable though? I feel we should be able to find a way to still do those things while it stays in the school, and when you can just go ahead and do the other things that you want to do instead of using it as a starting point and then leaving it, and then another generation comes, they think they need it, they come, they leave the school again, and the pattern keeps repeating itself.
So the reason why it will always be a seasonal thing is because your duration in Futa starts and ends, and your loyalty to the institution starts and ends. Even for me, when I started the first edition of Tech Off, because the first edition was 2023 and that was when I was in my final year, so I could have easily made it a Futa thing. But I was so insisting that I was not going to do that event anywhere inside Futa. At the end of the day, of course, it's still mostly Futarians that came there.
Yeah.
But the idea was, this is for Akure, not for Futa. Now that I've gotten to this point, this year we're taking Tech to 5 cities in Nigeria. It's no longer an Akure thing.
Yeah.
It's now, for Nigeria. Next year, it won't be a Nigerian thing anymore.
Yeah.
It will be, for the world, let's do a takeoff in, in the USA, let's do it in Kenya, let's do it in, different places in the world. So the loyalty you have for certain institutions is dependent on the phase of your life. That's one of the reasons why it might not be sustainable. The fact that the person who's starting it would have to leave. Now, the things that can be sustainable are the things that you're doing. I don't see any reason why anybody would think that your community can thrive even after you leave, because it's a community, and that's the whole point of communities. It's like you're staying in an area. You're staying in Akure. You live in Akure for a bit. You start something there, and you travel. It is very, very easy that the people in that community can pick it up and continue to do that thing, because if that thing is communal. So, some examples are GDG Akure, GDSC Akure. Those are communities, but they are still active today. I don't know if they're as active as some years before, but they are still present today. We still have Google Developer Student Community. We have GDG, Google Developer Programs. So we still have those communities, and they are still active. So even if their leads leave, there are always people ready to come on board. So the way to keep that kind of thing sustainable, first of all, you have to be prepared to handle what the budget says for those kind of things. So if that's what you want to do, it's fine. I don't think it's something you want to start in 200 level. In 200 level, you might not think about it like that. You may just want to do it to start it. But if something you want to sustain your life, and you are really passionate about the fact that you want people here in Futa, for example, Futapreneurs, for example, for your community, you can decide to actually build something like that. Like for your community, it makes more sense because you are trying to build something that can help people here in Futa sell more to, within themselves. People in Futa to discover themselves more, and it's just tailored to Futa alone. It's just like the Futa students when they started. So they just wanted to create a community of Futarians, and they've been expanding and stuff like that. You can do something like that. Now, the target changes. You're not trying to make profits, even if you guys may at the end of the day. But that's not your first goal. Your first goal is that we are creating a platform where people can just meet commercially. Same thing like Facebook. Yes, there was profit eventually, but the whole idea was let people just be able to search for themselves with just the name. It was basically building an online directory, nothing serious. So you can do the same thing as a community, and because you're a community, because there's already a communal flow, you probably have a team that is working together, setting things up. It only makes sense for you to start recruiting people in 200 level, 300 level, right? Training them. They've seen how you're doing. They've seen how you're operating. You graduate, and they pick it up. They start to continue to do it. They continue to maintain the platform. People are continuing to buying. They are continuing selling. You are just living your life. You are looking back occasionally, continue to providing them the mentorship, the support that they need, and things like that. You are opening door for partnerships for them, even as you are away. Like as you're doing this thing in the alumni building now, you meet with the alumni association, you give them the track record of what you've done, you share them all of those details, you get some partnership with them, get them to invest. People want to invest in their alma maters. What they want to do is invest, not actively be present. And it's the same thing that might happen to your community. You may not be there to be the host of these things anymore, but you have people who you've trained who can continue doing it. And it's the same thing for platforms like that. If as an engineer you're passionate enough to keep it going, all you have to do is start it, get to a point where you personally, your life is fixed. You're not depending on that thing as yourself to earn money. You're scaling your career on its own. You have a job, you're a bit comfortable. You can take out a certain percentage from your job to start investing in an initiative like that. You can decide to do it if you're that passionate about it. So it all depends on who is passionate enough to do it. We probably need more people to be passionate about it. But again, I don't think the platform itself is something that there's a lot of work to put inside to make sure it continues to work for just the Futa environment. Because people that want to sell, they don't want to sell to only Futarians, they want to sell to other people. So, there's a lot of work to do there. But if it is tied to a community like yours, it makes more sense for you to continue to think about creative ways to help people sell better online, like within Futa, because you have a community that is for Futa. So that one makes more sense. So it all depends on your loyalty. Because of your community, you are loyal to the campus in a way. So it all depends on your loyalty. As individuals, except you're actually genuinely loyal to the campus as an individual, but so many people just came here by mistake. So how many people want to be loyal to the campus like that? So it's all about loyalty. You can just choose to do it, train more people, let them take over, find people that can learn, that are loyal as well, that we need to do it for experience. And in fact, it creates I see so many opportunities. It becomes a big volunteering hub. So if you have a tech skill, you're looking for ways to express yourself, to learn, join the Futa marketplace. If you join us, you get to learn, you work, you earn something or some money if there's profits. So many opportunities.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I am. It's like you're dropping a lot of ideas in my head. So I have to watch these videos like 3-4 times. And I was going to ask for your advice for entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs out there, or techpreneurs. But in everything you said, I believe there's a lot to learn on it. And yes, learn. Listen again. I think you should go over the video if you're ready at this point and learn from everything Mide said today. And that's just it. But if you add one sentence or one thing to just tell techpreneurs, what would it be?
Building any business is hard. Building any startup is hard. Find something you genuinely love to solve, a problem you're passionate about solving, and give it everything you have, and be ready for what the world is. Don't limit yourself to the full-time environment, except you want to build it as like an NGO or for full-time kind of thing. Let your dreams be as big as possible. When I give people goals, for example, when I started Tech Off and we're going to put it on social media, from the very first day, even before we dropped our first video, I announced publicly that our target is 1 billion views. I think only Mr. Beast has done 1 billion views. I stand to be corrected. Probably some other people have done it. I think some other people will have done it. But that was the target, like 1 billion views. Today, I don't think we have up to 30,000 views yet in total across all our videos. But the point is, as far as your eyes see, as far as your eyes can see, make your goals super, super large, such that even if you fall short in a very good place. And that's what will keep you going. First, make sure it is something you love solving, you're passionate about. That way, when challenges come, you don't just give up. Second thing is just make sure, be ready build strength, be ready to be courageous. Accept the fact that you are early and you are young. That's one thing a lot of people miss. They try to do things like they are 30. I get it. I'm a 72-year-old man, so I get it. But at the same time, embrace the fact that you are young. Make mistakes. Make mistakes. Don't be too afraid that you're going to make a mistake because you're going to make it regardless. So be free, make mistakes, accept the fact that you are young, love what you do, be passionate about what you do, and eventually and for sure, as long as you can also see far and wide and you can see possibilities. One of the examples, there's this guy, Akonde, that runs TBM. He's always we all of us that are on his status can't rest about the fact that he wants Ashake to use his platform for event ticketing at O2 Arena.
Okay.
That's a very large vision. So, and meanwhile, he's still doing small events, small parties. Actually, he's doing some bigger parties. Some bigger is handling their ticketing. So, just as long as you can see very far, even if you start within campus, you're definitely going to take it out and it's definitely going to thrive. You just have to be ready and you just have to really, really love the problem that you're solving. And I think you'll mostly be fine. All
right. That was a whole chunk of advice from every part of it. So I don't think I have to reiterate so that it can sink in. All right. So don't give up and just make sure to see as far as your eyes can see. Don't limit your goals. Don't limit your thoughts. Absolutely. Don't limit your dreams. You can do more. Yes, do pass yourself. in your dreams and start from where you are at.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
So thank you so much. Thank you for honoring our invitation again.
Thanks, more thanks to you.
Yes. I'm blushing, guys. All right, so my name remains Lydia Oluwaseyi Adedoja. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you learned, I'll see you in the next spotlight. Bye.